Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Ann Emanuel. On Monday night, the Elmira City Council approved a new $16 million budget in connection with the American Rescue Plan. Our Dante Brown dives into what the funds will be used for and how residents of the city feel about it.
Monday night, the Elmira City Council met. They voted to approve a $16 million budget as part of the American Rescue Plan. ARP is the money that the city received from the government during the pandemic. The city plans to put $7.3 million into lost revenue, which Mayor Collins says can go into things such as improving the fire station and purchasing new equipment. The budget also outlines $1.7 million for Facet Road Stormwater Project, which will look to improve stormwater runoff during hurricane season, lowering chances of floods and property damage.
Due to the rising number of New York State tourists, which included a record-breaking 291.5 million visitors in 2022, the city also plans to install $1.4 million worth of budget into a large tourism grant.
While the council has also approved around $1.3 million for irrigation to keep water clean, local citizens would like to see some of the money go to the most practical places.
Little things here and there that they neglect for the most part. I mean, it's the little things that matter to us who live in the town. It doesn't have to be extravagant, doesn't have to be beautiful, it doesn't have to be perfect. We just want it to be comfortable and safe.
Citizens all around will be waiting as the city gets ready to bring the new budget into action. Dante Brown, Big Fox News, Corning.
Although spring hasn't officially started according to the calendar, it sure does feel like it's just around the corner. Our Sonia Ellison talked to residents to see if they think spring is here to stay.
From the birds singing in the trees, to the caddisflies by the Chemung River, to the buds coming from the ground in the trees, to the unseasonably warm weather, it seems like spring has sprung here in the southern tier.
I think not quite. I think we're still going to get some weather from the winter and stuff. So
Home Depot is getting spring ready as they've put out grilling, landscaping, and gardening essentials as many prepare for springtime home improvement projects. The spring equinox isn't until 3 weeks away on March 20th, but it certainly feels like spring is around the corner for now. And that wouldn't be wrong. What is referred to as the meteorological season of spring runs from March 1st to May 31st versus the astronomical spring, which is the calendar first day of spring or the equinox. Though Punxsutawney Phil foreshadowed an early spring weeks ago on Groundhog Day, most in the southern tier are still skeptical.
Well, it could be almost here, but March is full of surprises, so we might get a snowstorm.
Most locals aren't getting too comfortable with the mild weather, as some years the Twin Tiers saw brutal weather as late as March or April.
Before it's all said and done.
Sonia Ellison, Big Fox News.
Now let's check in with meteorologist Alyssa Triplett for the latest on our weather. Alyssa?
As we head into this week, we are going to be talking about a weather whiplash as we're talking about this big warming trend that is even bringing us into those 60s today. That is going to be shut down now. Still pretty quiet tonight underneath mostly clear skies and a low of 40 degrees, which is where our high should be this time of the year. But what we're watching is that as we start at least Tuesday night, a system is going to be lifting in with at least some rain chances to start, but then it could turn a little wintry, and I'll have more details in a few minutes.
His Tabernacle is hosting a free clothing giveaway for the community. It's happening tomorrow afternoon from 1:30 to 3:30 at the Arnott Mall. Come to the His Tabernacle location next to JCPenney and thrift some free clothes. The Girl Scouts of New York, Pennsylvania Pathways started their cookie sales today. They're set to go throughout the month of March. If you're in the area, Troop 40021 will be selling at several locations, including the Walmart at 3217 Silverback Lane in Painted Post and the Arnott Mall at 3300 Chambers Road in Horseheads. With all your favorite flavors ready to go, the Scouts are hoping to hit their goal.
Going to a water park and, well, I think that's our only goal, going to a water park. Adventurefuls, s'mores, and the tag-alongs. Tomorrow we're going to be at Sam's Club at noon.
With military aid for U.S. allies like Ukraine still on hold and the government just 4 days away from a shutdown, President Biden is demanding immediate action from Congress. As Rebecca Castor reports, the president met with top Republican and Democratic lawmakers in Washington today.
In what lawmakers are calling an intense meeting, President Biden sat down the top leaders in Washington to express the dire need to pass more emergency aid for Ukraine.
It was passionate. It was the consensus in that room. Zelensky and Ukraine will lose the war if we don't get the arms and don't get them quickly.
For months now, billions of dollars for Ukraine have been held up in Congress as Republicans, led by House Speaker Mike Johnson, demand changes at the U.S. border first.
We must take care of America's needs first. When you talk about America's needs, you have to talk first about our open border.
But helping allies abroad is not the only challenge facing lawmakers right now. Congress is merely days away from a partial government shutdown that would impact departments like Veterans Affairs, Housing, and Transportation.
Nobody wins from shutting down the government. Now, it's just, I don't know how many times you have to be hit with a bat before you know it hurts.
It's the fourth time since September government funding has come down to the wire. Republicans want to slash spending, but once again, it's likely they'll be forced to pass what's known as a continuing resolution, which temporarily keeps funding at current rates.
They've just been kicking this can down the road, and my patience has run out. So leadership is to blame.
President Biden is also set to give a State of the Union address next week, crucial during an election year, but that could be up in the air if the government shuts down Friday. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
A massive gift from a former professor at a Bronx medical school means all current and future students will get their education free of charge. Dr. Ruth Gottesman donating $1 billion to the Albert Einstein College of Medicine. The donation is believed to be the largest financial gift ever to any medical school in the country, and it's earmarked to provide free tuition to all students. It's already having an effect. Students currently enrolled for a fourth year will have their spring semester tuition reimbursed. All students will receive free tuition starting in August. Americans are feeling less optimistic in February. The Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index declined this month to a reading of 106.7. The numbers retreated from a 6-month high. It was the first decline in 3 months. Meanwhile, home prices grew more quickly than usual at the end of 2023 to finish at an all-time high. Home prices in the 20 biggest metro areas rose for the 11th month in a row in December. Prices grew most quickly in San Diego, Los Angeles, and Detroit. Prices grew the most slowly in Portland, Dallas, and Denver. Still ahead, we have a look at your full forecast. Plus,
we're learning more about the suspect accused of killing a Georgia nursing student. I'm Madison Scarpino in Athens, Georgia, with more on the case and why some say it points to a bigger issue, immigration.
Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Well, as we continue here into the rest of our week and talk about rounding off February, we are going to be on a roller coaster ride. Now, we're still on the upward climb. Even through the overnight, our temperatures are staying within those 50s or even climbing quickly there by sunrise, where we are going to stay underneath some shower activity with these warming conditions. But what we'll note is that we'll have to watch how warm that environment can get, because there might be some instability that could allow that as the final round of some showers move in with that cold front tomorrow afternoon. It could bring a few rumbles of thunder and maybe even the potential of some damaging wind gusts. But the showers that are pushing in here through the overnight is along that warm front. That's why temperatures are warming through the overnight as a warmer air mass is sliding in. Warmer air masses is what causes for some of that instability, or at least feeds into that, and that can help to potentially create that lightning and thunder threat, as well as give the consistency along that cold front to fire up a few stronger storms. So there is a marginal risk that is lying across the area from central Pennsylvania into New York. And we'll then note that that includes the Elmira Corning area, mainly for the potential that some damaging wind gusts could develop along that line of storms. Now, that threat doesn't come until tomorrow afternoon. So through the overnight, we'll continue to hear some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder as that warm front lifts north. Pretty decent downpour will be possible. Much of our Wednesday will stay in underneath some scattered showers, and then there's that evening risk of that rumble of thunder, maybe some stronger winds as that cold front pushes through and then leaves us with some wintry precipitation there, looking to start as early as right after that cold front passage and last through about Thursday morning. So we'll see that when it comes down to rainfall accumulation, some decent downpours within some of those rumbles of thunder that will come Wednesday afternoon, but even overnight tonight might see a few of those storms be able to produce at least 1/4 of an inch of accumulation, ending totals anywhere from 1/2 an inch to an inch possible. We'll end a little wintry as mentioned as well, looking at maybe a light coating with how warm we've been and with those wet surface conditions. A lot of this will melt on contact, but some of our elevational areas will be able to walk away maybe with 1/2 an inch to an inch, leading to at least some slick surfaces into Thursday morning. So Wednesday, again, all day Wednesday is about scattered showers, a few rumbles of thunder by the evening, as well as noting that we're within that warm environment due to that southerly wind, but that southerly wind is going to be pretty blustery, especially starting here from noon through the early afternoon. We have those winds switching, which starts to uptick that wind potential. Now, some of those storms might be able to prove some damaging wind gusts, but even if the storms don't become strong, either way, we're going to have some very strong winds that is triggering a wind advisory. So a blustery event after that cold front passage that is going to bring in those winter-like temperatures for our Thursday. So winter layers will be needed, but we will be right back underneath some pretty quiet weather as we step towards the weekend, where those temperatures will be back on the climb as we head into March.